Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask the CEO with Avrohom. Today, I'd like to introduce a very special guest. He's the general manager of the Industry Experiences team at Microsoft, a group that helps partners drive technology innovation, moving to the Microsoft Azure cloud, and enabling online sales by using the Microsoft Commercial Marketplace as a new distribution model. As part of this discussion, we will share how a partnership with Microsoft, the use of the Azure Cloud platform and services, and the commercial marketplace empower Microsoft partners to innovate while scaling and growing their business. It is my pleasure to welcome Paul Maher. Welcome, Paul.
Hey, thanks so much. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great having you. This is your second appearance on Ask the CEO. I always enjoy speaking with you.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to come back. And, it's the first time we got to chat was fun. And I'm sure today will be equally as enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking about enjoyable topics, we all love talking about cloud. Cloud is a big buzzword nowadays, and everyone's jumping on the cloud bandwagon. However, the benefit of building solutions in the cloud is not just about technology innovation, but also the ROI from a business perspective. As someone who manages a team focused on industry, can you share some more information on the business ROI of building solutions in the cloud?
Yeah, really good question. And so just a little bit of background on me as well, just to sort of date myself a little bit, but hopefully add some reinforcement to maybe some of the assertions I make. So, I joined Microsoft UK actually in 2005. And back then I was actually talking about this thing called the cloud and spending a lot of time actually talking to analysts about cloud being the future. Of course, you fast forward to today, I've had the opportunity to work with many customers and partners worldwide on their move to the cloud and this thing we know and love called digital transformation. So certainly have probably a good level of experience of working kind of across industries and working on varying types of solutions on moving to the cloud. But what I thought would be interesting to share as well is kind of some of the things I hear, and then we'll talk to sort of the business kind of return on investment as well. But just some interesting stats to level set the kind of the why cloud and the motivation to move to cloud. So some of the driving forces, if you will, at a macro level. So if you listen to some of our friends from the analysts, they'll talk to things like data growing to 44 zettabytes by 2020 and 163 zettabytes annually by 2025. So that's just, kind of a huge number. And then the second thing I talk to, of course, having all this data, and we'll talk a little bit about kind of cloud and cloud becoming much more of the commodity and making sort of business opportunity more accessible, is driving meaningful insights on top of that data. So analytics. So again, sort of analytics is expected by 2020 to be a $200 billion global market. So that's huge. And then finally, just in terms of just level setting, again, sort of what we're hearing from the market and what our analyst friends are saying is that, kind of in 2020, we're expecting to see around $1 trillion in IT spend that's related to cloud. So in terms of sort of to your point about sort of ROI, I always say that the biggest and most successful projects I've worked on have been led by business need versus technology and innovation. And so, really sort of thinking about the move to cloud, kind of being solid in terms of the motivation and the need, whether that it be moving existing solutions to the cloud, so sort of what we'd call brownfield projects, or even greenfield projects, sort of net new projects that are born in the cloud. It's good to know kind of what's the motivator, what's the business reason behind that. And so, some of the things that I think, holistically, when you think about the business value, certainly I would look for as a senior executive, and certainly the companies and customers I work with, what they're looking for in terms of the business benefits of moving to the cloud, is things like operational agility. That's obviously what cloud helps bring. Things like quicker time to market. So, being able to build on the cloud platform, but also leverage services that allow innovation that perhaps wasn't possible before, or would take a long time to go build, and that wouldn't be necessarily cost efficient for companies. Things like, of course, building on a secure and reliable cloud. So again, business benefits are around sort of security and reliability, and in a lot of cases, we're seeing that from a business point of view, they're putting much more gravitas on cloud because of the kind of, for the providers like ourselves, such as Microsoft, we spend billions and billions of dollars per year thinking about security, and of course have huge teams that are looking around things like threat models and threat detection, and having security at the center of the way we think about things. So, of course, for businesses, being able to talk to their building solutions on a secure and reliable platform, and you'll hear things like, of course, this kind of moving in model around moving away from capital expenditure to operating costs. So that sort of overall reduced IT costs, but also the complexities, if you imagine within IT, of managing an estate of hardware, and that's hard enough in itself. Trying to look at sort of 3 to 5 year projections and amortization, but imagine some of the larger companies that are acquiring companies as well, and the complexities that brings. So, of course, with cloud, in that pay-as-you-use, on-demand, near infinite scale capabilities, again provides sort of huge business value, kind of beyond sort of that traditional capital expenditure. Things like reduced management overhead. So again, moving away from the businesses having sort of costly investments around managing an estate and moving that to the cloud, and spinning up hardware and capabilities as needed. And as mentioned a moment ago, I mean, one of the biggest things when you think about that business transformation is moving to that pay-as-you-go pricing model. So that really drives new opportunities around innovation and revenue streams, and allows you actually, in many ways, to be able to go up market or down market much more easily because of the price affinity and the ability to price on that in that price as used model that perhaps wouldn't have been possible more following kind of the traditional licensing and on-premise capex model, just because of cost prohibitiveness, which kind of goes away in that cloud agile model, if you will.
Yeah, and also when talking about things like software or hardware refreshes, the cloud completely eliminates that.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Cloud, the hardware refreshes, the maintenance costs of that, kind of the licensing costs, and then on top of that, of course, is just making sure that the operating systems, for example, that are running on there, are running the latest patches and security patches and so on. So, that's that in itself. Kind of being able to offload some of those implications and requirements to the cloud vendors. Is just a win-win situation for everyone.
Now, tell us about Microsoft's online distribution model called the Commercial Marketplace.
Yeah, super excited. So, as mentioned, I've spent a lot of time in Microsoft and building kind of cloud solutions. And, sort of the way I would tee up for the listeners as I start to talk about the Commercial Marketplace, for those of you not familiar with it, I look at the Commercial Marketplace as being as transformative from a business perspective and business transformation as cloud has been from a technology perspective. And so just to tee up a few things, again, just to quote some of our friends from the Analysts, just sort of as we start to talk about Commercial Marketplace and this sort of thinking about this notion of online e-commerce distribution. What we're hearing from some of the Analysts is that we're seeing huge trends of business buyers that would prefer to gather their own information online and not interact with a sales rep. So that's sort of that notion of you being able to sort of self-serve and explore on our own. It's sort of a huge trend. And a lot of that, of course, is driven by look at who the actual buyers are. So I think now this year we're seeing more millennials in terms of generations than anyone else. And so that changing workforce is also changing the sort of the mindset and the buying behavior also. And then what we're also seeing is that we're expecting to see that business to business e-commerce continuing to grow sort of pretty dramatically over the next few years, which of course, given kind of our current environmental situation and moving to a kind of remote everywhere environment is sort of very, very sort of prevalent in people's minds. So with all of that sort of precursor, so the Microsoft Commercial Marketplace, put super simply, the marketplace is an online marketplace and distribution model for partners to sell their software solutions and services, number one. And number two, for customers to buy software and solutions and services from that marketplace. And we have two storefronts to kind of draw attention to. The first in the commercial marketplace is called Azure Marketplace. And this storefront is predominantly suited for IT professionals looking for technology building blocks, including things like APIs and tooling. And then the second storefront under that commercial marketplace umbrella is called Appsource, which is focused much more on line of business software solutions. So ultimately, in summary, kind of the commercial marketplace has a rich catalog of software solutions and services solving point-of-mind business problems, if you will. And then on top of the two storefronts, I would sort of ground us on thinking about really sort of the two personas when we think about sort of an online marketplace, and in our case, the commercial marketplace. Persona number one is the publisher. So these are, kind of partners that are publishing software solutions or services on the marketplace. And then secondly is the buyer. So that think customers who are buying those software solutions and services from the marketplace, solving their needs. And so, for us, it's kind of, I say, super exciting, because now having kind of this cloud marketplace that allows a new distribution model, we feel is obviously very relevant in terms of the trends and the changing and buying behaviors. Obviously, sort of environmentally, given where we are in the world, obviously it's very relevant in this kind of remote always world. And also it's disruptive, but also complementary to traditional sales methods, whether it's kind of direct sales with kind of your sales teams, or leveraging say resellers. So we think it's a good value add, but also is providing a good opportunity to disrupt and innovate.
Yeah, I like that model. It kind of reminds me of like the iPhone ecosystem, where people are already used to, you go to the store, you buy an app, and you solve a problem. And it sounds like that's what the commercial marketplace does for the Azure platform.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. And and what I would say is it's providing, it's pulling together really the commerce platforms that are traditionally in place that you know and love about working with Microsoft. We're providing not only a storefront and a means to publish software solutions and services and raise visibility to them, but we're also providing capabilities such as the ability to commerce, to drive billing. So we will do that as Microsoft on behalf of the publishers working with the customers. We're providing, there's a common request for Microsoft is being able to be on the Microsoft price book. So in all intents and purposes with the commercial marketplace, you're now appearing effectively on the Microsoft price book, because you're getting visibility kind of to potential customers, but also the Microsoft field sellers and our resellers also have access, if you opt in, to be able to sell your software solutions and services on your behalf. So that's been over the years a huge request, is access to potential customer pipeline from the folks that are selling software solutions and services, and then having the Microsoft sales teams as an example, and the resellers being able to sell those solutions. So with the commercial marketplace, all of that magic suddenly becomes available, and you have the kind of basically this new digital online marketplace that's providing yet another set of capabilities that is complementary to the engagement that you probably already have with Microsoft today as well, and sort of those traditional selling models.
So let's talk a little bit about the partners. Can you share a few stories that highlight how businesses have become extremely successful by partnering with Microsoft?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So, I mean, I'll generalize a little bit in terms of, kind of talking a little bit about how Microsoft thinks about our partner ecosystem, and that covers a broad set of sort of entities, if you will, kind of for the purposes of this dialogue, I'm thinking about sort of independent software vendors, so companies that build software solutions and sell those software solutions predominantly, and then things like systems integrators that are, kind of really providing capabilities of really bringing together a complete and package of business solutions, including software solutions and services. And so we generally think about our partner ecosystem as enablers and the really sort of providing the key capabilities. They ultimately know the domain, the space, the industry, and so on. So, when I talk to Microsoft and when we think about sort of, in this particular case, thinking about, say, cloud, we're providing the platform and services and capabilities, but we look to our partner ecosystem to build on top of our platform. And so, kind of across the board, we've been embracing our partner ecosystem, whether it be anything from retail to manufacturing to partners who work in the space of AI to IoT. So we work broadly across the board, but the key and common themes, I think, is number one, we want to work with and we value our partner ecosystem. I say they're providing kind of the key IP on top of our platform and capabilities. Number two, when we partner with the partners, you'll see us thinking about how do we work together, whether it be what we'd call sort of our build with motion. So how do we help them get onto the platform? So we'll work with that ecosystem on providing sort of best-in-class advice, if you will, in terms of how to architect their software solutions and how to bring them to the Microsoft Azure cloud, and then ultimately deploy them to the commercial marketplace to be able to go sell. You'll hear us talk about go-to-market motion. So we have lots of programs and relationships with partners on working with them around go-to-market motions. So how do we help them think about readying their solutions in terms of kind of the anything from awareness of what their solution does to aligning it with an industry to working on marketing campaigns and so on and so forth. And then the third thing we do is think about our kind of co-sell motions. And so, working with our sales teams and their sales teams to think about how do we actually get them in front of customers and ultimately make them successful by hopefully selling their software solutions. And so we've traditionally done that through sort of our direct field sellers. We've done that by working with our reseller channel. And now with the commercial marketplace, what that also does is provide a uniformity and a new go-to-market vehicle, a new e-commerce distribution model with the commercial marketplace to really light up across our entire ecosystem worldwide, to give them that ability to appear in our storefront, be promoted in our storefront, get visibility into to our field teams, get that global distribution and reach through the marketplace. So with the marketplace, it's basically providing kind of the table stakes for everyone to get access to Microsoft versus it being about who you know. It's now, if you're on marketplace, that's where all of Microsoft are going to see what are those best-in-class software solutions and services from our partner ecosystem that we should be talking about and promoting to our customers. We, of course, as I say, can sell on behalf of the partners. And we're seeing that, as to your question, across the board. So the working across industry with those partners and enabling them across those motions, those build with, go-to-market and co-sell motions, and leveraging the commercial marketplace. We're seeing that kind of the key takeaways is that your partners are building in the right way on our platform. We're helping them ready the sort of business pitch and talking about who they are through the go-to-market motions. And then in the sales motions, we're working with them collaboratively to give them exposure to customers, whether that, as I say, be directly through the field teams or through our commercial marketplace, giving them that geographical scale. through being in the storefront. We do a lot of work on the commercial marketplace, helping raise visibility of those published offers through things like marketplace rewards, and that's where we'll work with kind of marketing companies. We'll do marketing campaigns. Even Avrohom, you've done some work with us also on bringing visibility to those partner solutions. So we're working hard to kind of holistically help our partners from kind of top to bottom, if you will, not only sort of the technical conversations, but also trying to help them in terms of selling their solutions. And I'm glad to say that with our Microsoft partner ecosystem, that's a thriving partner ecosystem. We're seeing some great joint results across the gamut of different initiatives that we're working on together.
Yeah, and like you said, I've had the opportunity of speaking with many of your partners, and they all echo the same sentiments, that it's a very collaborative environment that helps them grow.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's talk about current events right now and how that's impacting businesses. So COVID-19 has impacted everyone, and we're now living in this new normal. Everybody's working from home, dealing with the whole family being home, and businesses have been severely impacted. Can you share with us some of the work you're doing to help partners succeed in today's remote-only world?
Yeah, I mean, sort of, I touch upon it a few ways. So, I mean, if I think about sort of the products that we have, so of course, thankfully, we're able to help in this kind of remote-only world. So things like Teams come out in terms of, things like being able to provide remote meeting and video conferencing support and messaging and so on and so forth. So, of course, we've seen huge uptick of that. Of course, kind of a lot of people are now in this world moving to leveraging the cloud, which is great. So we've been able to play a huge part there, which is fantastic. Kind of really supporting our customers and our partners on their journey to the cloud, or for those that are in the cloud, we've been providing help and support there to make sure we're keeping the lights on and helping them scale to sort of the needs that they have. Even to for those of us get at home with families, of course, we're focusing on things like homeschooling and so on. So the tools I mentioned help there, kind of Teams, cloud, and so on, and our business productivity tools like Office. So that includes things like everything from Outlook to Word and so on. So anyone who's probably at home homeschooling is using a full gamut of the products and services that we have. And then I'll also sort of touch upon some of the fun sides of things. Of course, we also own Xbox, so we're seeing a lot of usage of Xbox and Xbox Live services. So from a sort of a products and services point of view, I feel super proud about the sort of the gamut of capabilities we have that in our current kind of remote everything world, we're able to help kind of keep businesses running. We're helping sort of educators educate. And then for folks that are trying to stay connected, we're able to do that. And of course, with fun things like gaming is great. The second piece I would touch upon is just sort of some of the pragmatic work that we've been doing generally at Microsoft and kind of my team. So, of course, what we've been able to do, given our sort of footprint in terms of technology, but also our connections with partners and customers. Too many to name, but sort of at a high level, we've been doing a lot of work, of course, with the various agencies involved in the COVID-19 response, whether that's, helping with, of course, testing requirements, being able to kind of diagnose, and that could be everything from providing compute capabilities for initiatives to working with customers and partners and bringing them together to deliver solutions that we can kind of get out quickly to respond, to even things like on the manufacturing side. You can imagine there's kind of a big logistical challenge on things like supply chain and so on. So there's lots of initiatives there going on in terms of how can we share some of our learnings from a technology, but also from a commercial perspective around things like supply chain. Of course, we have our, a lot of our retail stores, and we have things like the Surface devices and so on. So we have a pretty kind of broad set of capabilities generally around sort of manufacturing and supply chain. So we've been able to get involved in sort of sharing some of our insights, or of course getting involved in consortiums around that. So lots of stuff going on. And then the third thing I would talk upon is also the Microsoft Commercial Marketplace. So of course, in this kind of remote everything world, we've seen kind of a lot of software companies lighting up on the Microsoft Commercial Marketplace, using it as a distribution vehicle to get their software solutions out there. And so we've been spending a lot of time, of course, on the healthcare side, working with software companies to get their COVID-19 response type solutions up on the commercial marketplace. We're seeing similar things, of course, on the manufacturing side, and more and more and more we're seeing sort of across industries, companies using the commercial marketplace as a means to quickly be able to deploy, bring visibility and distribute software solutions. So that's sort of three of the main things I would talk to, but super busy but super proud that we're able to play a small part in helping kind of in our current situation.
Awesome. And I've actually had the opportunity to speak to a few of those partners that have been working on the COVID solutions in healthcare. So yeah, I got to hear it from them firsthand. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Paul, I've really enjoyed hearing the success stories about the commercial marketplace. For people considering joining the Microsoft partnership, how transformative is the commercial marketplace in helping people scale and grow their business?
Yeah, look, I would say, as with anything, I think it's important for people to make their own opinion. So I'd encourage people to go learn more and try it. If from Microsoft's perspective and my perspective, obviously I'm living and breathing the commercial marketplace and working with our partners moving there. As I said earlier on, I see the commercial marketplace as transformative for businesses, as cloud has been for technology. I mean, we're providing an online distribution model. We're taking a lot of the heavy lifting away, around things like procurement and billing that is just hard. We're providing, we're removing things like vendor proliferation by bringing kind of best-in-class partner solutions to the storefront to help our customers in terms of their buying decisions. But we're also, this is at geo scale, right? So, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of transactable offers up in the commercial marketplace. So that's software solutions up there deployed that can be bought by customers. We're seeing millions and millions of unique visitors coming to the commercial marketplace. So when you think about, one of the biggest requests from our partner ecosystem is getting leads and opportunities from customers. We now, through the commercial marketplace and the digital campaigns that we're driving basically a new means for potential pipeline of revenue through the marketplace. So that's huge. It's a new economic opportunity for the partners beyond their traditional sales motion. So that's fantastic. And we're seeing at the moment, I think I heard the other day, 198 of the top 200 Azure customers deploy their solutions through the Azure Marketplace. So, it's huge. We continue to grow. I would say again, I'm of course living and breathing the dream, and as you can tell, a huge believer in it. But I would just encourage people to go learn more. And the great thing is that you won't be fast movers now. I mean, the commercial marketplace is becoming relatively mature now, and we continue to innovate, of course. But there's lots of, if you go up to kind of Azure.com and take a look at either the Azure Marketplace, if you're much more of a slant towards sort of IT building blocks, or if you're looking for software solutions, go take a look at Appsource. Go take a look and you'll see kind of the broad gamut in the catalog itself of partner offerings that are up there. And as mentioned, we're seeing huge uptick of customers buying the solutions from Marketplace. A couple of things I would also note is that this is the marketplace itself is built on a lot of the existing infrastructure that we had. So whilst the storefront and the UI may look new, the underpinnings around sort of everything from kind of the commerce platform to thinking about the legalities and so on, paperwork is building upon our institution and what we have. And just, in terms of the revenue opportunities that are coming through in terms of the purchasing of solutions. We're now in the millions of dollars of transactions that are coming through the marketplace. So we're seeing large transactional amounts. And yes, absolutely. The other question we get is, is it relevant and applicable for large, complex solutions? Absolutely. It is. And we're also seeing, as I say, sort of large transactional revenue amounts coming through. So go check it out. I think go learn more, and super excited to hopefully get more and more partners and customers moving towards that publishing and that buying experience on the commercial marketplace.
And where can people go to learn more about the commercial marketplace?
Yeah, so a few things to go look at. So I mentioned before, go look at Azure.com, and off Azure.com you can take a look at either the Azure Marketplace or Appsource, number one. Also go take a look at aka.ms/sell-through marketplace. So there's lots of great collateral there that you can go learn from. And of course, just feel free, if you want, you can follow me on LinkedIn. So go look at me on LinkedIn on Paul J. Maher, or you can follow me on Twitter, Paul J.F. Maher. So if you want to follow up on that, or even just drop me an email at paul@microsoft.com if you want to learn more. But go look at Azure.com, Azure Marketplace, Azure.com/Appsource, and then go look at aka.ms/sell-through marketplace.
Great, and I'll post all that to the show notes. Awesome. So people don't have to remember all those URLs, they just click on it.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Paul, do you have any parting words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience?
Yeah, it's great discussion, by the way, Avrohom, as always. It's as predicted, it's been super fun. So I appreciate the opportunity to come on today. I think that whether you're moving to the cloud or whether you're looking at the commercial marketplace, learn from others. Lots of proven capabilities to go learn. Go consume the information. Go explore. And then in the case of commercial marketplace, which is probably a little newer than cloud and Azure, go check out those links. Go leverage the reading materials. And the great thing is we have lots of great partner stories up there as well. So go learn from our partners.
Awesome. Paul, thank you so much for sharing your time and your wisdom. I really enjoyed having you on the show.
Awesome. Thanks so much.